There's this really strange paradox that the smarter you are, the more terrifying success can actually feel. It's a feeling a lot of high achievers know, like intimately, but almost never talk about.
So picture this. You just got the promotion, the big one. Your boss is ecstatic, your team is cheering, and on the outside, you look like you're radiating pure, serene confidence. But inside? Oh, inside it is a totally different story. Your brain is having a full-on crisis meeting, and the voice in your head isn't celebrating, it is panicking.
And there it is. That's the thought, isn't it? The one that just echoes in the minds of so many brilliant people. This feeling that you've somehow tricked everyone, that you're a complete fraud, and any second now, your cover's going to be blown. So what is this bizarre form of self-sabotage, and why does it feel so intensely real?
Well, this feeling actually has a name. It's imposter syndrome. It's that nagging, persistent inability to believe that your success is deserved or that you've actually earned it through your own efforts. You become this calm imposter, looking totally put together, while underneath it all, you're paddling like mad just to stay afloat.
Yeah, we're going to call this the calm simulacrum. It's the perfect way to describe what psychologists call surface acting, which is the exhausting art of performing an emotion you absolutely do not feel. It's kind of like a duck, right? Gliding across the water, looking all serene and majestic. But underneath, where nobody can see, your feet are just going a mile a minute.
So why? Why does this happen so often to highly intelligent people? Well, what's so fascinating is that this isn't some kind of flaw. It's actually a side effect of having a different kind of mental processor, what we're calling the 8K brain. See, a high IQ brain isn't just a faster calculator. It's what you'd call a strategist overthinker. When it's faced with a problem, it doesn't just find one solution. Nope. It automatically runs simulations, basically wargaming every single possible outcome. For any given situation, it might generate over 15 potential pathways in the time it takes someone else to find just one.
And right there, that is the core of the problem. When you succeed, other people, they just see that one successful outcome. But you see the entire map. You are painfully aware of the 14 other routes that could have ended in total disaster, the ones you just barely avoided. So your success doesn't really feel like a victory. It feels like you just dodged a dozen bullets.
And hey, this isn't just a feeling, it's a real documented phenomenon. In a survey of high IQ individuals at MIT, a staggering 73% said they felt like frauds. So if you feel this way, believe me, you are not alone. You are in very, very smart company. But what does this actually feel like from the inside?
This is probably the best metaphor for it. Your brain is processing reality at a much, much higher fidelity. It sees everything in stunning, crisp detail. But that also means it sees every tiny flaw, every potential risk, and every little imperfection with painful clarity, while most other people just miss them completely. So what is going on in the brain to create this kind of high-resolution experience? It turns out this isn't just a metaphor, it's a real neurological trait. And, it comes with a pretty significant cognitive price, which often shows up as this deep-seated perfectionism.
The scientific term for this is sensory processing sensitivity, and the best way to think of it is like this. Your brain is operating without a spam filter. It doesn't just process some of the information coming in, it tries to process all of it, deeply and thoroughly. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, it means you're the one who notices that subtle shift in your boss's tone of voice. You catch the tiny micro-expression of doubt on a client's face. You see the almost invisible formatting error in your own report. And you can hear the background conversation happening 3 tables away. Your brain basically screenshots everything. And here's the wild part. This psychological trait has a physical basis. Neuroscientists have actually found that deep-thinking, introverted individuals often have thicker gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, and that's the part of your brain that handles abstract thought and complex analysis. In other words, your brain is literally built for this kind of depth.
Okay, so if your brain is just wired this way, how in the world do you manage this incredibly powerful but, let's be honest, often overwhelming internal processor? How can you turn this high-performance engine into an asset and not a liability? The answer is not some empty affirmation. Telling a strategist to just believe in yourself is like telling a surgeon to just be more confident. It's useless. You need a tool that actually matches the complexity of your own mind. You have to approach this like a strategist.
So let's try a technique we'll call the inner board meeting. It's a form of what psychologists call external processing.
Basically, by talking through your thoughts, you create psychological distance. It turns you from the person drowning in the problem to the objective observer who can solve it. So first, you acknowledge the voices of doubt. Then, you ask a logical, strategic question. Okay, if I were truly a fraud, how would I have managed to fool all of these smart people for this long? And then, you just listen for the answer. The only logical conclusion is, you couldn't.
So the goal here isn't to get rid of this feeling entirely, but to reframe it. What feels like a personal failing is actually evidence of a really powerful and unique cognitive system at work.
And this is the most crucial point. Your self-doubt isn't a weakness. It's a feature, not a bug. It is the natural byproduct of a mind that runs simulations, processes in high definition, and analyzes every single variable. It's just the hum of a high-performance engine.
That feeling of paranoia or constant overthinking, it's not a disorder. It's actually a form of radical honesty. You're simply one of the few people who refuse to ignore the genuine complexity and uncertainty of the world. You see things as they really are, not just as you wish they would be.
And this just brilliantly sums it all up. You are not an imposter. You're a cartographer. While everyone else is just following a compass, pointing them in one direction, you're the one who sees the entire map, all the paths, all the dangers, and all the possibilities.
You're not a fraud who's about to be discovered. You're a strategist who is always 5 steps ahead. And that fear you feel, that's just the wind resistance from moving that fast. So the only real question is, with a map that detailed, where do you want to go next?